Hello and welcome to our ISAM-3314 Java project. I'm Steve Fernandez and my partner in the project is Jim Weldon. Our Java project is the LinkedIn project, and here are our project objectives. Develop a Java application that allows a user to add new users to a database, and the app should also allow user to search. And here are our project objectives. Develop a Java application that allows a user to add new users to a database, and the app should also allow user to search for users already entered into the database by name and by city. Here are our table of contents. We have the meeting time, flowcharts, class diagram, registration form, search form, and code. And here are our meeting times. Thursday at 5:30, Saturday at 1. Here's the registration page flowchart. The registration page flowchart basically shows the flow of logic that is used in the application to add a new user to the database. Here we have our class diagram, which shows all of the classes that are used in the application. And we start here with the registration page class, and it is tied to the registration bean class. Then you'll see that the user class here is tied to the registration bean, and the search bean, because the user class basically is defined in both the registration bean and the search bean. And finally, we have the search page class and the search bean class. Now, here's Jim to describe the layout of the application and the page views.
Here we have our registration form. This includes the fields that the user will input, including their first, last name, email, birthday, city, state, country, and employer. And then they click on the registration button. Here's the registration form showing the validation for the fields. All the fields are required, and that is shown here on the right when you hit the register button and there's no information in the fields. Next, we have a snapshot of the registration code, which shows the input text boxes, which are then passed through to the registration bean. Here we have the first name, last name, email, birthday, city, shown here on the screen. That information is then passed to the registration bean, where it's then input into the database. And this is the method that handles that. Here we have the search page. This is where the user enters their first and last name and city to search the data for a match. And here we have a snapshot of the search page code, which includes the text input boxes for the fields first name, last name, and city. Here's a snapshot of the search code bean. This connects the front end of the search page to the JDBC layer and includes the field search name, last name, and city. And finally, we have a snapshot of the Java connectivity layer code. This is where this connects the front end where the user inputs the data to the back end, the database.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Now we're going to take a look at a live demonstration of our Java application. This is our Java app LinkedIn registration form. At the top here you can see we have a link to the search page, which we'll get to in just a minute. First of all, I'm going to go through the registration process, and this is the page as Jim described earlier in the PowerPoint presentation. And basically, as he demonstrated, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate live. If you just click the register button, you'll see that it gives you validation errors here where the data would normally show up. I'm going to go ahead and clear this form. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enter some data. This is data that we've entered before, predefined. I'm going to enter just 2 characters for the first and last name, and then complete data for the remaining fields. Try to make the email address unique to the others that we've entered before. So I'm going to go ahead and click the registration button. Now we get 2 validation messages. Here's check the length of the first name, check the length of the last name. These names require each at least 3 characters. So we'll go ahead and complete those. And we will go ahead and register this user. So everything validated this time. We have a unique email address, so it doesn't give us an error, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that here in a second. But it does let us know that we have successfully added a user to the database. Now I'm going to go ahead and just click register again, and that will show that this email has already been entered in the database, and we should receive a warning for that. So here's the warning. Please check for a duplicate email address. So we know for sure that that is a duplicate. Now I can go, if I want to enter another user, I can go ahead and hit the clear form and start the process again. Now we can go to the search page and look up some of the data that we've entered here on the registration page. Now, as is stated here, if you leave all of the fields blank on the search page and you hit search, it will return all of the records that have been entered into the application, as you can see here. Now let's clear the form, and then we'll do individual searches. And some of the names that we've entered before. And we'll do a search. and it brings back 2 for Jim because there are 2 distinct email addresses. I'll clear the form again, and this time we'll use just the first name and city and do a search. Brings back 1 record. This time we'll leave the first name blank with a last name and a city. See if that's a good record. Let's try it again. Clear the form. Okay, there was not a record found for this one. Let's try again. Search. Okay. Just use Jim's last name. And again, it brings back 2 records, only using the last name. I'll try this one. And it brings back 1 record for me. So let's clear the form again. We'll hit the search button without any fields, and you can see a pretty good list of entries. We'll clear the form again and return to the registration page.